pen holders there, and we will have Syria humanitarian with O'Brien for the last time, which is really sad this morning. But just to say that we are encouraged by the recent humanitarian deliveries to Homs and to Eastern Ghouta, but it's too early to talk about any trend when it comes to humanitarian access. This needs to be sustained. And it's also important to remind here that these humanitarian deliveries cannot be used for political purposes. And so it's important that humanitarian principles prevail, and is really the framework for this new access and this new aid delivery in Syria. I think we are also very concerned about the situation for civilians in Raqqa and in Idlib. Important that civilians are protected, and this also goes for the international coalition, of course, not least in Raqqa. I think that the issue of accountability will be raised this morning, and we of course regret that the Council has been unable to refer the situation of Syria to the ICC. The crimes of the last 6 years in Syria cannot go unpunished, and I think we will hear calls for accountability this morning. My understanding is that this is something that Stephen O'Brien will also focus on. At the end, just to say, because this will also be a political briefing from the Mistura, I understand via VTC, not much to say there more than to just again reiterate that we will never see an end to the conflict in Syria unless we have a political process and a political settlement. And so we are looking forward to hear the Mistura, and of course he has our strongest support as he prepares for the next rounds.
Ambassador, the Council is also going to be discussing Burma or Myanmar.
Myanmar, yeah.
Yeah. What's Sweden's take on that? What's happening there at the moment?
I mean, we're extremely concerned about the situation, and so we are very happy that we will have the opportunity to have an update from DPA today. What is important for us is that the UN now remains actively engaged with its full array of instruments, and that it's done in a coordinated and coherent manner. Our understanding is that the Secretary General is very much seized with the matter. He also understands the context very well from his previous job in UNHCR, and so we will provide him the political support that he needs to take this forward.
You seen the comments of Aung San Suu Kyi saying that aid groups may be helping terrorists, and if so, do you think they're helpful? Do you have any view?
As I said, we are concerned about the situation, and it has clearly escalated over the weekend, and so I think it's timely that the Council has an update. We are following this closely, and we have called for a meeting earlier in this year as well. We think it's due that the Council looks at this situation. As I said, for us it's important that the Secretary General has political support for the engagement that he's doing, both at the political level but also on the ground in terms of the humanitarian support and the development support that continues on the ground.
Ambassador, what did last night's dynamic in the Council meeting on North Korea tell you about the chances for another resolution on sanctions?
I think what was important yesterday was really the unity that came out, and the fact that we could so quickly agree on a very strong statement. And I think that clearly sets the stage for continued good cooperation on the issue of North Korea. I think everyone shares the urgency that something has to be done. This is possibly the greatest threat to international peace and security that we have today, and so from a Swedish point of view, we were very happy that we could have a swift adoption of a strong statement with unity. That was what we were working for, and that's what we had.
Does Sweden think there should be further sanctions?
We're open to those discussions, but we also think it's important now that that creative diplomacy is deployed, and so that we can seek dialogue in whatever way that can be found. That's an important component of the resolution that was adopted a couple of weeks ago. It's not only about sanctions, it's also the political track, and so we will contribute to step up efforts towards that end as well.
Do you support the current draft on UNIFIL? Will you be supporting that?
We are very supportive of that, and we'll look forward to its adoption this afternoon.
So is that definitely going ahead?
It's scheduled for adoption. I would assume that it will be adopted this afternoon. That's what we hope. We are very supportive of the resolution as it's been circulated.
Thanks.
Thanks.